Part 29. God Level Tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tien Taido. Chapter 282. After hearing the three people's words, Chu Xiaoking's pretty face suddenly became extremely cold, even a little angry. He doesn't deserve me, do you? I've told you before, I don't like you. Li Hao is the one I like. You have nothing to do with it. Chu Xiaoqing was also a little agitated, and she said directly, and simply said it. When Wu Tianhao heard Chu Xiaoking's words, his expression became colder and colder again. The eyes of the three of them were a little red, and there was an anger about to burst out. When he looked at Li Hao, his eyes were even more, full of resentment. It's all because of this kid. Boy, don't stand behind a woman. If you're a man, stand up. Qian Mufeng said directly to Li Hao again. That's right, stand up if you can. How dare you steal the woman I like? Don't you want to live anymore? Do you know who I am? Wu Tianhao and Sun Xiangqian also said harshly, and they were already a little angry. He. Hearing what these three people said, Li Hao smiled lightly. He didn't want to care about it at first, but these three people actually pushed it further. I don't care who the hell you are. Even if the King of Heaven comes, is it my turn to care about my affairs and my own woman's affairs? Li Hao also said coldly, his voice also filled with pride. Awesome. This guy actually got into a fight with these second-generation people. I really admire his courage. So brave. I don't know where you get the confidence. For a moment, a series of uproar sounded next to him. As soon as Li Hao said these words, Wu Tianhao and the three people opposite him stared at Li Hao coldly. Boom! A powerful aura was suddenly released from the three of them at this moment, and a powerful oppression instantly descended on Li Hao. Among the three of them, Wu Tianhao and Sun Qianqian were both halfway through foundation building, and Qian Mufeng was in the early stages of foundation building. At this moment, the three people were full of momentum, and they looked like they were about to take action. Three nephews, today is my birthday party, please give me face. Don't be angry. At this time, when Mr. Chu saw this scene, he couldn't help but speak out. Only then did the three of them calm down their momentum slightly. Okay, for the sake of Grandpa Chin's birthday party, I'll let you go for now. But you'd better be careful if you step out of here. The three of them said sternly to Li Hao again, this was Chi Kuokyo's threat. But Li Hao smiled faintly again. This should be what I said to you. Li Hao said again indifferently. But this time. By the way, Miss Xiaoqing, your boyfriend, came to the old man's birthday gift, so you came empty-handed? Didn't you even get a gift? Qian Mufeng's voice was cold, with a touch of ridicule in his voice. Yes. Xiaoqing, your boyfriend. Don't you even have a gift? What the hell kind of boyfriend is this? He didn't even get a gift for his birthday. It's really funny. You can't afford it, right? As soon as Qian Mufeng's words came out, Wu Tianhao and Sun Xiangqian next to him also reacted. The guy in front of them was empty-handed and seemed to have come to attend the birthday gift without buying anything. The two of them suddenly started to jeer. That guy seemed like he really didn't buy anything. Damn it, you must have forgotten, right? This is not good. Even the surrounding guests and hotel staff looked at Li Hao again and made sounds of surprise. After hearing Qian Mufeng's words, the expressions of Chu Yuntian and others could not help but freeze. Indeed, Xiaoking's boyfriend doesn't have any gifts. Thinking of this, Chu Yuntian and others' impression of Li Hao was suddenly greatly reduced. Although it didn't matter on the surface, it must not be good with so many people watching. At the same time, Chu Xiaoking's expression also became a little unnatural. She also forgot about this incident. She just gave herself a gift. Without thinking too much, she couldn't help but look at Li Hao beside her. Li Hao was also stunned and had not thought of this at all. But at this moment, it doesn't seem like a good idea not to give some gifts. However, I don't have anything except the money in the card, so I can't transfer the money directly, right? Li Hao looked at the old man Chu Tianhe in front of him again. Yes. Li Hao suddenly murmured, having an idea in his mind about what to give. Li Hao looked at Chu Xiaoqing next to him again, gave her a reassuring look, and even touched the back of Chu Xiaoqing's hand. Then, another smile appeared on Li Hao's face and he looked at Mr. Chu. Grandpa Chu, happy birthday. I didn't think of anything to give you. Last time, I bought a pill from a Taoist priest, so I just gave it to you as a gift. Li Hao said directly. When everyone heard Li Hao's words, they couldn't help but be stunned again. Pill? This guy actually wants to give you a pill? Damn it, I really can't imagine it. Haha, it's so funny. Pills? Did you buy them from a Taoist priest? Do you think they are elixirs? You actually gave it as a gift. Qian Mufeng and the other two couldn't help but laugh sarcastically when they heard Li Hao's words. The next moment, a pill really appeared in Li Hao's hand. Everyone didn't see where Li Hao took it out, and their eyes immediately fell on the pill. The pill was round and white, with strange patterns on it. But at this moment, a fragrance floated into everyone's nose, which shocked everyone. Is this the fragrance of the pill? Chu Xiaoqing's father Chu Yuntian also murmured, his eyes widened. At the same time, a figure flashed out and appeared at the door of the hotel. Foundation building pill. It's actually foundation building pill. A horrified voice came out from the mouth of this figure. And this figure was Qian Baishuan who had entered before. Not only Qian Baishuan came out, but also the head of the Wu family came out, as well as Sun Wenwu of the Sun family. These foundation building cultivators who had already gone in came out at the same time. It's really a foundation building pill. There are pill patterns on it. This is clearly a top-grade foundation building pill. Sun Wenwu and others' eyes fell directly on the pill in Li Hao's hand, and there were shocked voices coming out of their mouths. Boom. At this moment, everyone was extremely shocked. What? Foundation building pill. Is the pill in his hand the legendary foundation building pill? Oh my god, he actually took out a foundation building pill as a gift. This is too unbelievable. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 283. Shock. The whole place was shocked. Even Qian Baishuan, Sun Wenwu and other monks in the foundation establishment realm were alarmed and came out of the banquet hall one after another. At this moment, everyone looked at the elixir in Li Hao's hand in shock, with a touch of fire in their eyes. Foundation building pill. It is also the best foundation building pill. As we all know, the recipe for the foundation establishment pill has been lost. It is said that the Zhou family received a half-finished foundation establishment pill last time, which shocked the entire capital. And in front of me, a complete foundation establishment pill actually appeared. How could it not be shocking? Even, many people have some thoughts in their minds. If you get this foundation establishment pill, you can become a foundation establishment monk. As a result, he has great power and becomes a superior being. Oh my god, this pill is actually a foundation establishment pill. He actually wants to give you the foundation establishment pill. Don't he know this is the foundation establishment pill? Hiss. There were shocking sounds again, and some people even made gasping sounds. G establishment pill? How is this possible? Is this the foundation establishment pill? How come he has the foundation establishment pill? The three of them, Wu Tianhao, were also filled with turmoil in their hearts at this moment. They were truly shocked by the scene in front of them. It was hard to believe that the pill in the hands of the guy in front of them was the legendary Foundation Establishment pill. Is this really the foundation building pill? At this moment, Mr. Chu Tianhe looked at the elixir in Li Hao's hand, and he naturally recognized it. This elixir was a genuine foundation building elixir, and it was of extremely high quality. The old man's eyes were also extremely shocked. Even his face turned a little rosy. This was something he had been asking for many years but could not get. With this foundation establishment pill, he would be able to reach the foundation establishment realm just around the corner. Things like those 100-year-old ginseng and 500-year-old ganodermalucidum are really rubbish compared to this foundation building pill. Dad, it's really the foundation establishment pill. Chu Yuntian next to him also said in great shock, with a touch of excitement in his voice. Is this the foundation establishment pill? On the side, Chu Xiaoqing also looked at the pill in Li Hao's hand with a look of surprise. She was worried just now that Li Hao had not prepared a gift, but she never thought that Li Hao would actually surprise the audience with the elixir. It is definitely the foundation establishment pill. Chu Yuntian said in a deep voice. The look he looked at Li Hao had become a little different. Before, he was actually a little unhappy in his heart. His precious daughter was actually taken over by this guy, and he took him directly. When he came back, he didn't even ask for his opinion. But at this moment, Chu Yuntian's view of Li Hao had undergone a 180-degree change. Do you really want to give me this foundation establishment pill? At this time, Mr. Chu Tianhe couldn't help but ask Li Hao, maybe this guy didn't know the value of this foundation establishment pill before, right? Now that we know it, will this kid regret it? Certainly. However, Li Hao said without any hesitation, and his eyes did not even fluctuate much. He looked indifferent, as if he did not notice the foundation establishment pill at all. Ha ha. Hearing Li Hao's answer, Mr. Chu suddenly laughed again, and then nodded happily. Not bad. Really good. This elixir you gave me is the best gift. Boy, what I said to you is that Xiaoqing didn't realize that she chose the wrong person. The old man has the final say on the matter between you and Xiaoqing. Mr. Chu immediately said with a smile again. For a pill, Chu Xiaoqing was sold directly. As soon as Mr. Chu said these words, Chu Xiaoqing next to her couldn't help being speechless, but her pretty face couldn't help but blush with embarrassment. With the old man's words, the matter between him and Li Hao is settled, and the family will not object. Mr. Chu, congratulations. Happy to receive the foundation establishment pill. Congratulations. At this time, the voices of Qian Baishuan, Sun Wenwu, and others came again, all congratulating Mr. Chu. Although they also had some thoughts about this top-quality foundation building pill, at this moment, they were attending Mr. Chu's birthday banquet, and so many big shots from Jinghua were present, so they suppressed their inner thoughts. Haha. Thank you very much. The old man responded happily. Immediately, he took the foundation establishment pill directly from Li Hao's hand. Holding this elixir, the old man's eyes were almost moved to tears. I've kept everyone waiting for a long time. Come to the banquet. The old man put the elixir away directly, and then said to everyone. Then, everyone walked in and entered the banquet venue. Chu Yuntian and others also walked in, and basically all the guests who were supposed to come also came. Let's go. Li Hao. Let's go in too. Chu Xiaoqing also said to Li Hao. Li Hao nodded. Then, Chu Xiaoqing directly took Li Hao's arm and walked in with a happy look on her face. Behind them, when Wu Tianhao and others saw this scene, their expressions became extremely ugly. Damn it! How dare you steal my woman? I'm going to kill him. Wu Tianhao looked at Li Hao's back with a look of resentment and said sternly. This guy is looking for death. Sun Xiangqian also said coldly. It's like flowers stuck in cow dung. This guy is also an idiot. He actually gave away the foundation establishment pill directly. He doesn't know how to eat it himself. Just wait, even if we don't do it, someone will do it to him. Qian Mufeng also said coldly. In his case, having the foundation establishment pill, eating it yourself is the wisest choice. Wouldn't it be better to become a monk yourself? And this guy actually sent it out. Isn't this just like a fool? Moreover, in front of so many people. I'm afraid many people have bad thoughts towards this guy. The common man is not guilty, but he is guilty of carrying the jade. What if this guy still has a foundation establishment pill? From Qian Mufeng's point of view, even if he doesn't take action, this guy will be in trouble. Now it's difficult to do anything at the birthday banquet, but as soon as the birthday banquet is over, these people will probably be unable to hold back. At the birthday banquet, Li Hao and Chu Xiaoqing sat together, next to Chu Xiaoqing's parents. The old man was very happy and even drank a lot of wine. Even Li Hao drank some. Time passed and the birthday banquet was coming to an end. In the corner, some people have quietly walked out or taken out their mobile phones. Finally, the party is over. Everyone left. Go and settle the bill first. Mr. Chu said directly to Chu Yuntian beside him, preparing to pay. For this banquet, they only paid a deposit of 100,000 yuan, but there was still some money left to settle. Now that the banquet is over, it's time to settle the bill. However, the next moment, Chu Yuntian went to the hotel manager to settle the bill. Mr. Chu, there is no need to pay the remaining fees. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Tian Taido. Chapter 284. What? You don't have to pay the remaining fees. When Chu Yuntian heard what the hotel manager said, he couldn't help but be stunned. What's the meaning? Chu Yuntian asked in surprise. Because someone has already given it. The hotel manager said with a smile again. Chu Yuntian? Who? Chu Yuntian had a question mark on his face. Someone actually gave them all the remaining money. This banquet has 30 tables, at least 3 to 500,000. For them, although it is not much, it is not much. Our little boss. The hotel manager said directly again, his expression filled with pride. Just before, he received a call from Li Hao, the company's second largest shareholder and small boss. He was shocked. This is a big deal. And the hotel manager didn't have the slightest suspicion, because in Yuhao Group's system, the boss's personal phone number could be found, but it was undoubtedly Li Hao. Li Hao just said lightly that today's birthday banquet is the birthday banquet of his girlfriend's grandfather. Then, the hotel manager understood immediately. Ever since, there was the scene in front of me. Your little boss? Who is it? Do we know each other? This time, Chu Yuntian was surprised again and even more confused. Didn't he just have dinner with you, Mr. Chu? I heard the hotel manager say in a solemn voice again. Ah! Chu Yuntian's eyes widened. No, your daughter's boyfriend is our little boss. The hotel manager said with another smile. What? You mean Li Hao? He is actually the boss of your hotel. Chu Yuntian said in shock. No, 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 not our hotel, but the entire Yuhao Group. He is also the global executive president of our Yuhao Group. When the hotel manager's words come out, it's time to say them again. Hiss. Chu Yuntian's heart was filled with turmoil, and he couldn't help but take a breath of cold air. The next moment, Chu Yuntian went back again, and I was buzzing. Are you ready? Mr. Chu asked Chu Yuntian again. Not given. The rest of the money has already been given by someone. Chu Yuntian said in a deep voice. After hearing Chu Yuntian's words, Mr. Chu asked in surprise. It's him. Chu Yuntian said again and looked at Li Hao. Everyone was puzzled and looked confused. Are you Li Hao? How come? Even Chu Xiaoqing next to her looked at her father in surprise. This kid is actually the boss of Yuhao Group. Chu Yuntian said slowly again. What? Yuhao Group? The largest hotel group in the world. Li Hao is actually the boss of Yuhao Group. How is this possible? By the way, this Laxidos hotel seems to be the property of Yuhao Group. Oh my god. When Chu Yuntian said these words, everyone's faces were shocked. Even Chu Xiaoqing didn't know that Li Hao was actually the boss of Yuhao Group. They only knew that Li Hao was from their airline company. Boss. Li Hao, is this true? Chu Xiaoqing looked at Li Hao again and asked. Haha. It's just a small share. It's not a big deal. Li Hao said with a sneer. Boom. But everyone's hearts were even more shocked. This guy is so low-key. Li Hao gave everyone a huge shock here. Grandpa Chu, let's find a room first and take the foundation establishment pill. Li Hao said directly to Mr. Chu again. That's right. Dad, let's take the foundation establishment pill first and break through to the foundation establishment realm. There were a lot of people who looked wrong before. Chu Yuntian also said from the side. They have lived for so many years. Naturally, it can be seen that the strange look in the eyes of those people before was probably because they had ideas about this foundation establishment pill, and they might even be able to do it directly. Even at this moment, there are still some people in the distance looking here from time to time. It is obvious that every move of these people here is being watched. To be on the safe side, Mr. Chu had better eat it first. After a while. In a room at the Rashido's hotel. Li Hao, Chu Xiaoqing, Chu Yuntian, and Mr. Chu are here. As for Chu Xiaoqing's mother and grandmother, they have already left. Xiaoqing, you and Li Hao should leave first. I'll just stay here and guard your grandpa. Chu Yuntian said directly to Chu Xiaoqing that he was an innate warrior and it was best to guard his grandfather here. In his opinion, it was useless for two ordinary people, Li Hao and Chu Xiaoqing, to guard here. Outside the door, there were also some people working for the Chu family standing outside. No. I want to see Grandpa become a monk. However, Chu Xiaoqing said directly. All right. Chu Yuntian had no choice but to let Chu Xiaoqing and Li Hao be here. Then I'll just eat it. At this time, the old man immediately said again, took out the top quality foundation building pill, and was about to eat it. However, right now, Li Hao's face changed slightly, and there was a sharp edge in his eyes. Still, someone is coming. Are you going to be unable to hold yourself back anymore? Before, Li Hao felt several powerful auras around this hotel, which were the auras of monks. At this moment, a figure is approaching quickly. At the same time, Chu Tianhe, how about selling me this foundation establishment pill? I'll give you 1 billion. A voice suddenly came. The next moment, the door was blown open. A proud figure stood there, that of a middle-aged man, filled with a powerful aura. And there were already some figures lying on the ground. Seeing this middle-aged man, the expressions of Mr. Chu and Chu Yuntian suddenly changed. Wang Han's Han. The old man looked at the middle-aged man in a deep voice. He naturally knew this middle-aged man and he was an old enemy. You actually broke through the foundation. There was a shock in the old man's eyes, because the old enemy in front of him was actually much younger than he thought, and the aura on his body was so powerful that it was shocking. This had clearly broken through to the foundation building realm. Haha. That's right. I'm already a foundation building monk. But you, after so many years, are still a half-step foundation building monk. The man who called Wang Hanshan away suddenly smiled and said with a hint of ridicule in his voice, "Give me this foundation establishment pill? I can give you 1 billion. Wang Hanshan said again. Impossible. The old man suddenly said sharply, very firmly. Ha ha. If you don't eat the toast, you'll have to drink it as a penalty. The man named Wang Hanshan sneered again. In that case, I won't be polite. I don't want to give you money, but I have to do it. Wang Hanshan said coldly again. Boom. A powerful aura was released directly, and he was not polite and was about to take action. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 285. A powerful aura erupted from Wang Hanshan's body. Build the foundation. Although it is only the early stage of foundation building, it is still astonishing. The expressions of Mr. Chu Tianhe and Chu Yuntian suddenly became extremely solemn. Even if the opponent is only in the early stage of foundation building, it is not something that an innate warrior and a half-step foundation builder can defeat. Dad, I'll stop him. You quickly take the foundation establishment pill. At this time, Chu Yuntian stood up again and said to the old man, blocking in front of the old man. Even if he couldn't beat him, he didn't care much at the moment. As long as he blocked it for a moment, the old man would break through to the foundation. Haha. It's just you. Can you stop me? You just don't know how to live or die. When Wang Hanshan saw this scene, he immediately laughed again and said coldly. As soon as the words fell, an astonishing offensive appeared on Wang Hanshan's body, blasting directly at Chu Yuntian with extremely violent power. When Chu Yuntian saw the opponent's attack coming, he was horrified. He gathered the strength of the warriors to stop it, but he was afraid that he could not stop it. Boom. The next moment, Wang Hanshan's offensive came, and Chu Yuntian in front of him was about to be hit. Bang. A dull roar suddenly sounded. What everyone expected didn't happen, and Chu Yuntian still stood in place. Something unexpected happened. The figure of Wang Hanshan was pushed back. A slim figure stood in front of Chu Yuntian, with endless spiritual power flowing in his body and an extraordinary aura. Seeing this figure, Mr. Chu Yuntian and Mr. Chu Tianhe's eyes widened instantly. Xiao Cheng. Xiao Cheng. How is this possible? Chu Yuntian and the old man said in silence, their faces filled with disbelief. You are actually a foundation building monk. Xiao Cheng, you. The two of them were shocked and couldn't believe that Chu Xiaoqing was actually a foundation building monk. When did Chu Xiaoqing become a foundation establishment monk? How did she become a foundation establishment monk? This is the apple of their eye, right under their noses. Unbelievable. It's incredible. Ahead, Wang Hanshan was staring closely at the slim woman in front of him, his face becoming a little solemn. I didn't expect it. I really didn't expect it. Chu Tianhe, your granddaughter is actually a foundation building monk. I made a miscalculation. This is your preparation, right? I'm afraid you have to pay a high price for your granddaughter to become a foundation building monk, right? This is a hug. Which company did you fall in love with? Wang Hanshan said in a deep voice again. After hearing Wang Hanshan's words, Mr. Chu Tianhe and Chu Yuntian couldn't help but be startled again. Their preparation? Which company are you embracing? Where is this? They didn't do anything at all. Who knows how Chu Xiaoqing became a foundation building monk? However, even if she becomes a foundation building monk, your results will be the same. I'm not the only one here this time. Wang Hanshan said sternly again. He was not the only one who had thoughts about this foundation establishment pill. There were many people outside now, but they didn't take action. Now, let me see how much you, a foundation building monk, Wei. As Wang Han's words fell, Wang Han's eyes released another sharp etch. Boom. Immediately afterwards, a powerful cultivation aura suddenly emerged from Wang Han's body, and he reached the extreme limit of his power. He once again launched an astonishing offensive and blasted at Chu Xiaoqing again. Xiaoqing, be careful. Granddaughter. When Chu Yuntian and the old man saw this scene, their expressions suddenly changed and they shouted to Chu Xiaoqing. Leave it to me. Grandpa, please take the foundation establishment pill quickly. Chu Xiaoqing said immediately. Boom. After the words fell, Chu Xiaoqing's foundation building cultivation was released again, and she also exploded with fierce power and directly confronted Wang Han's. Bang bang bang. In an instant, a series of dull sounds resounded in the space. All I saw was that the two figures were constantly intersecting and colliding with each other so fiercely that the entire space was shaking. Both of them were foundation building monks, but this fight was evenly matched, and it was difficult to tell the winner in a short period of time. But this Wang Han's was blocked by Chu Xiaoqing. Seeing this scene, Chu Yuntian was shocked, and immediately said to the old man beside him. Dad, take the elixir quickly. The old man's heart also condensed and he nodded. Then, without any hesitation, he stuffed the foundation establishment pill in his hand into his mouth. However, when this foundation establishment pill was about to be stuffed into the old man's mouth, changes occur again. A powerful coercion instantly descended on this space. The old man's movement of putting the foundation establishment pill to his mouth suddenly froze at this moment. The old man and Chu Yuntian both had looks of horror on their faces at this moment. Mr. Chu, how about you give me the foundation establishment pill in your hand? A cold voice came, and a proud figure appeared in the mid-air outside the balcony, standing in the void with his hands behind his back, looking extremely aloof. Sun Wenwu. When Mr. Chu and Chu Yuntian saw this figure, their expressions changed suddenly, and Mr. Chu said coldly. Isn't this figure the same as Sun Wenwu who attended the birthday banquet before? The second person in the Sun family is also a foundation building monk, and the momentum he displays at this moment is even more powerful than that of Chu Xiaoqing, who is still fighting. This is clearly the middle stage of foundation building. Mr. Chu, didn't I give you a piece of spiritual jade before? You can directly absorb spiritual power, and maybe you can directly become a foundation building monk. There is really no need to use this foundation building pill. Why not use this? How about giving me the foundation establishment pill? I think the Sun family owes you a favor. I heard Sun Wenwu say directly again. It's not necessary, not necessarily. Since your Sun family has spiritual jade, there is no need to use this foundation building pill. Before the old man could speak, Chu Yuntian said in a deep voice again. After hearing Chu Yuntian's words, Sun Wenwu's face darkened and his brows wrinkled slightly. He shook his head and sighed. Oh, you really don't eat the toast but you have to drink the penalty wine. I tell you kindly, but if you are so disrespectful, then you can't blame me. I, Sun Wenwu, will order this foundation establishment pill. Seeing that the other party was so ignorant, Sun Wenwu said no more. Boom. The powerful power of cultivation burst out instantly, causing the entire space to vibrate. The next moment, Sun Wenwu waved directly forward, and a burst of energy flew across the void and blasted forward. However, at this moment again. Bang! From the other side, another attack came instantly, directly blasting away Sun Wenwu's energy. A foundation building monk, dealing with two warriors, really embarrasses us monks. I can't stand it anymore. At this moment, a voice slowly echoed in the space. Everyone saw a figure wearing Taoist robes descending from the sky, carrying an air of immortality and Taoism. Thanks to the Live to Earn Money brothers for voting every day, it's really non-stop every day, so touching God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tien Tien Tai Do. Chapter 286. This figure descended from the sky, wearing a Taoist robe, with immortal wind and Taoist bones, and was filled with a powerful aura. A foundation building monk dealing with two warriors really embarrasses us monks. I really can't stand it anymore. The Taoist priest stood in the void, looked at Sun Wenwu coldly, and said in a deep voice. Taoist priest? Are you the master Sanyang worshipped by the Zhou family? Could it be that the Zhou family also wants to get involved in this matter? Seeing the Taoist priest who suddenly arrived, Sun Wenwu's face darkened and he said coldly. Yes, it's Pandeo. However, this is my private matter and has nothing to do with the Zhou family. This Taoist priest was obviously Sanyang Jinren, and he immediately responded. I advise you, it's better not to meddle in other people's business. You can't afford this. Sun Wenwu looked at Master Sanyang coldly again and said sternly. As a poor man, is it your turn to point fingers when doing things? However, after hearing Sun Wenwu's words, Master Sanyang said proudly, obviously not taking Sun Wenwu seriously at all. Very good. Really good. Sun Wenwu's face had become extremely ugly and gloomy. The Sanyang master in front of him is said to be a monk in the middle stage of foundation building. He really has no chance of winning in a fight with him. Not far away, when Mr. Chu Tianhe and Chu Yuntian saw the appearance of Master Sanyang, their expressions became extremely ugly again. Another strong foundation building expert has arrived, probably for this foundation building pill. What a twist and turn. In Mr. Chu's hand, he hasn't had time to take the elixir yet. This was terrible, the other party probably wouldn't give him a chance to eat it. Mr. Chu thought this in his heart, feeling extremely depressed and melancholy. Could it be that he would never be able to break through to the foundation establishment realm in this life? Just thinking so. Why are you still standing there? Why don't you take the elixir yet? But at this time, a voice came from the front again. To Mr. Chu's expectation, it was Master Sanyang who told him. The other party actually wanted him to take the elixir? Aren't you here for the elixir? This? The other party actually helped him. Why? Mr. Chu didn't have time to think too much, his body had already resumed its movements, and the oppression exerted by Sun Wenwu on them had been blocked by Master Sanyang. The old man immediately tried to stuff the foundation establishment pill into his mouth again. Court death. When Sun Wenwu saw this scene, he immediately shouted loudly, and an offensive instantly gathered together and blasted towards Mr. Qin again. Bang! But then, the offensive was easily broken by Master Sanyang, making Sun Wenwu's face extremely ugly. If you don't take action, this foundation establishment pill will be gone. Suddenly, Sun Wenwu said coldly again, and the voice came loudly, and he didn't know who he was talking to. Boom! But as Sun Wenwu's voice fell, several powerful auras were instantly released outside the Rashido's hotel, and several figures rose into the sky. At this moment, everyone in the hotel felt a strong oppression. Above the void, 4 or 5 proud voices appeared again, standing against the wind, as if they were extraordinary and holy. Wu Wenhao, Qian Baishuan, Li Changfeng, Zhang Tiangang. Chu Tianhe looked at these figures and read out a few names. Each of these names represents a family in Jinghua, and each one contains powerful energy. These people are all the big bosses of Jinghua. People who are usually invisible to the dragon, but they all arrived today. Of course, Wu Wenhao and Qian Baishuan had appeared at the birthday banquet before, and they obviously never left. Mr. Chu, if you use this foundation establishment pill, it will be a waste of resources. Let's give it to us. Chu Tianhe, the 500-year-old Ganodermolucidum I gave you. The effect is very good, and the foundation building problem is not big, but you should give me this foundation building pill. Shushan River. This foundation establishment pill is not for you to use. Hand it over. Immediately, Qian Baishuan and others said coldly to Chu Tianhe again, asking Chu Tianhe to hand over the foundation establishment pill. Although their several major families have profound knowledge and a lot of elixirs, there are many ways for everyone in the family to break through to the foundation building realm, and the chances are high, but those methods are risky. The foundation establishment pill in front of me is of the highest quality, and can even make ordinary people directly become foundation establishment monks. Moreover, if you get this foundation building pill, you can also study its ingredients and production methods. The value is not ordinary, so several people are determined to get this top quality foundation building pill. There are so many of you, but there is only one foundation establishment pill. Even if I want to give it out, who will I give it to? Chu Tianhe's heart fell to the bottom at this moment, and he said coldly. These guys had attended their own birthday banquets before, but then they turned against each other. In this world, the last word is to have a big fist. Give me. Give me. Give it to me. Qian Baishuan said one after another. Several people had a fierce look in their eyes. Everyone, please give me some face and give this foundation establishment pill to my Qian family, right? You, the Qian family, already have so many monks. But it's our turn, right? I want to give you face, but it's the foundation building pill. It's not up to me to decide. When Wu Wenhao and the others heard Qian Baishuan's words, they were immediately unhappy. The Qian family, as one of the top 3 families in Beijing, has reached its peak strength. Compared with the Qian family, the Wu family, the Zhang family, etc., are still a long way behind. If the Qian family gets this foundation building pill, it will be difficult for them to turn things around. For a while, several people had not yet obtained the foundation building pill, but they had already started fighting. In that case, let's rely on our abilities. Okay. Who will win depends on our own methods. Fight. Who is afraid of who? In a flash, the scene became somewhat uncontrollable. Boom. Boom. A powerful aura of cultivation burst out from the bodies of several people in an instant. Qian Baishuan is in the late stage of foundation building, and the others are all in the middle stage of foundation building. Boom. Several people burst out with an extremely amazing offensive, and their bodies moved instantly, blasting towards the direction where Chu Tianhe was. Haha. Good. I'll stop them. When Sanyang Genren saw this scene, he laughed again, and his body burst out with the power of cultivation. The majestic spiritual power instantly flowed through his body and rose, and his voice was filled with arrogance. Sanyang Genren had not made a move since he broke through to the late stage of foundation building. At this moment, he just wanted to test his strength. Even if he faced so many foundation building cultivators, he was not afraid at all. What's more, there was another person next to him to support him. Sanyang Genren saw that Li Hao was still looking at the scene in front of him calmly, and he had no intention of taking action at all. In an instant, the amazing momentum of Sanyang Genren was no longer concealed at all, and was completely released. The powerful momentum of the late stage of foundation building shocked the audience. It turned out to be the late stage of foundation building. What a powerful cultivation! At this moment, even Sun Wenwu and others changed their faces. Unexpectedly, the Sanyang Genren in front of him had already broken through to the late stage of foundation building. This has brought about many variables. Boom boom boom. All the cultivators present started to fight without any concealment. And Sanyang Genren responded directly to these people. Bang 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 bang. Violent spiritual powers collided, shaking the earth. For a moment, the scene instantly became extremely chaotic. Oh my god! They really started fighting. A real fight between gods. This scene was naturally seen by the people in the Lashido's hotel, and they couldn't help but exclaimed. Some people rarely see such a scene until they die. In the eyes of ordinary people, these people in front of them are no different from real gods, which is simply too thrilling. Sanyang Jinren, fighting against many people alone, directly fought with Jian Baishuan and others. Grandpa Chu seized the opportunity. Li Hao saw the scene and immediately said to Chu Tianhe. It was he who called Sanyang Jinren. At this moment, Sanyang Jinren was dealing with so many cultivators alone, and he was afraid that he could not hold on for too long. This old man Chu was still in a daze, and Li Hao really couldn't bear it. Old man Chu suddenly realized and stuffed the pill into his mouth again. Stop him. Not good. Qian Baishuan and others saw the scene and wanted to stop it, but they were stopped by Sanyang Jinren. Bang. The next moment, old man Chu finally fed the pill into his mouth. The pill melted in his mouth and turned into an extremely pure and powerful energy, which instantly filled the old man's body. Buzz. The old man was shocked. Then, he felt his whole body was still burning. Under the powerful medicinal effect of this foundation-building pill, the old man could clearly feel that in his danshan, there was an extremely pure spiritual power condensing, and a cultivation base was being formed. Boom! A strong momentum instantly emerged from the body of Mr. Chu, and the momentum was still rising. In a moment, the momentum of the old man had reached the level of the initial stage of foundation building, and it had not stopped. Then, he actually stepped directly past the initial stage of foundation building and entered the middle stage of foundation building. Perhaps it was because the old man had already reached half a step of foundation building, or perhaps it was because of the old man's accumulation over the years, or perhaps it was because of the powerful effect of this top-grade foundation building pill. In short, the old man actually became a powerful cultivator in the middle stage of foundation building in one fell swoop. Bang! Not far away, a dull sound was heard, and the two figures collided and separated again. Chu Xiaoqing flashed and stood beside Li Hao. Her long hair was a little messy, and she looked a little embarrassed, but a bright smile appeared on her pretty face. Her grandfather finally broke through and fulfilled his wish. But Wang Hanshan on the opposite side, his clothes were a little torn, and there was even some blood hanging from the corners of his mouth. He stared at this side closely, but his face was extremely ugly. At the same time, on the other side, Qian Baishuan and others also stopped, and everyone's face became extremely ugly. This top-grade foundation building pill was finally eaten by Chu Tianhe. Then, there was no need to fight anymore. Moreover, the other party broke through and became a cultivator in the middle stage of foundation building. Is this the effect of the top-grade foundation building pill? What a pity. Qian Baishuan and others sighed, but at the same time they were extremely amazed. Master Sanyang also came to the side of Li Hao and the others at this moment, but this Sanyang master no longer had the immortal spirit of the past, his breath was extremely weak, the corners of his mouth were bleeding, and there were still injuries on his body. He fought it all alone. Although he was injured, Master Sanyang's eyes still shone with this incomparable edge, full of joy. Thank you. At this moment, Mr. Chu felt that his whole body was full of strength. His eyes were full of gratitude when he looked at Master Sanyang, and he clasped his fists and said, "No. It should be." Master Sanyang said directly. However, Master Sanyang's words made Mr. Chu feel a little confused. Should Master Sanyang really feels that this is what should be done? Li Hao is his young master, and the other party is the grandfather of his girlfriend. Master Sanyang did not expect that the young master actually gave the other party a foundation building pill, which actually caused such a big sensation. However, this is actually to be expected. I really didn't expect it. Chu Tianhe, you have made a lot of preparations for this breakthrough. Wang Hanshan said sternly to Chu Tianhe again. Unexpectedly, the other party could even call Master Sanyang. Mr. Chu. What has he prepared? He didn't prepare anything. These were things he had never thought of at all. But the result is ultimately good. The foundation is just gone. Wu Wenhao said calmly again. It is indeed gone. Qian Baishuan's eyes showed a cold light, but he spoke slowly. The foundation establishment pill is indeed gone. But that boy is still there. The foundation establishment pill was given by that boy. As soon as Qian Baishuan's voice came out, the eyes of Li Changfeng and Zhang Tiangang flashed again, and they all turned their attention to Li Hao. Qian Baishuan, what do you mean? Just say it. Next to him, Wu Wenhao said in a deep voice again. Since this kid can come up with one foundation establishment pill, maybe he can also come up with a second foundation establishment pill. Qian Baishuan said in a deep voice again. Huh? You mean? On one side, Zhang Tiangang also had a look of surprise in his eyes. Let's take action together. Capture this kid. Maybe there will be unexpected gains. Qian Baishuan immediately pointed at Li Hao and said sternly. After hearing Qian Baishuan's words, Wu Wenhao and others next to him suddenly looked shocked, and they also made a decision in an instant. Yes, this guy is still here. Maybe this guy still has a foundation establishment pill. Let's take action together to capture this kid. Good. Several people looked at Li Hao one after another, with undisguised unkindness in their eyes. Wang Hanshan and Sun Wenwu also stood with him, as if they had temporarily become the same camp. In the eyes of Qian Baishuan and others, if they act together, this kid will definitely be captured. Counting Master Sanyang, there were only 3 foundation building cultivators on the opposite side, but on their side, there were a full 6, giving them a great advantage. Seeing this scene, Mr. Chu's expression suddenly changed again. On the other hand, Master Sanyang next to him had a strange look on his face. The other party actually set his sights on the young master? How brave! Isn't this looking for death? Boy, if you know what's going on, get over here. At this time, Sun Wenwu said sharply to Li Hao again, and a momentum was generated again, pressing towards Li Hao. However, Li Hao stood still, with a slight smile on his face and a calm look. Before Li Hao could say anything, Master Sanyang beside him couldn't bear it anymore and stood up and spoke sternly. Sun Wenwu, do you know who you are talking to? Huh? Who is it? Isn't it possible that my Sun family can't afford to offend this kid? After hearing what Master Sanyang said, Sun Wenwu said in a deep voice. The expressions of Qian Baishuan and others were slightly condensed. Master Sanyang was actually protecting this boy, and seemed to have an unusual relationship with him. There is indeed something wrong with this kid. Master Sanyang was about to speak, but at this moment, another voice suddenly echoed between heaven and earth. You really can't afford to offend the Sun family. At the same time, the expressions of Qian Baishuan and others suddenly changed again, and they saw a middle-aged man wearing a green robe slowly walking over, carrying an unparalleled aura. That momentum surpasses foundation building. Shocked the whole place. That's pill formation. Zhou Kunlun. Seeing this middle-aged man, Qian Baishuan and others said in a deep voice. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 287. When Qian Baishuan and others saw the middle-aged man appearing, their expressions suddenly changed. Because the person in front of me is Zhou Kunlun. A strong man in the Dan formation realm. In the entire Great China, there are only a handful of powerful people in the core formation realm, And Zhou Kunlun is one of them. When Kunlun appeared this week, it immediately shocked the entire audience. The most important thing is what Zhou Kunlun just said. He was clearly on the same side as the other party. Everyone's faces became extremely ugly, especially Sun Wenwu, who was even more horrified at this moment. Zhou Kunlun. What do you mean? Sun Wenwu said directly to Zhou Kunlun. What do you mean? Wasn't what I just said clear enough? You Sun family really can't afford to offend him. You don't deserve it. When Zhou Kunlun heard Sun Wenwu's words, he couldn't help but said coldly. Boom. Zhou Kunlun's powerful cultivation force was moving, and the earth-shaking power was directed towards Sun Wenwu. Sun Wenwu felt as if his entire body was frozen, and a sense of shock filled his heart. The next moment, everyone was shocked to see that Zhou Kunlun walked directly towards Li Hao again. Master, am I not late? Zhou Kunlun showed an extremely respectful look and said to Li Hao. Although Zhou Kunlun's voice was not loud, he did not conceal it at all. The people present were basically foundation-building monks and warriors, and their hearing was also extraordinary. When he heard Zhou Kunlun's words, his eyes suddenly changed. A look of disbelief. Master. Zhou Kunlun actually called him young master. How is this possible? Oh my god. What is this kid's identity? A series of horrified sounds suddenly came out. Just because the scene in front of me was too shocking. A strong man in the Dan formation realm is actually a brat. How can anyone believe this? Not only Sun Wenwu and others were shocked by the scene before them, but Mr. Chu and Chu Yuntian beside them were also shocked by the scene before them. What is the identity of this boy in front of me? Not only could they call Master Sanyang, but Zhou Kunlun was actually his subordinate, which they simply couldn't imagine. Li Hao nodded lightly. He did not expect that Zhou Kunlun would come this week. He did not ask Zhou Kunlun to come. Even if these people attacked him, he would not be cowardly at all and could suppress them directly. You can also show off your power. But now, since Kunlun has appeared this week, these people naturally dare not take action again. In this case, Li Hao might as well forget about the idea of taking action. Be low-key. If he were to display his cultivation in the Dan formation realm again, he would not be able to scare them to death directly. Aren't you going to get out yet? Li Hao looked at these people again and said coldly. You. When Sun Wenwu and others heard Li Hao's words, they immediately stared at Li Hao, their faces flushed with anger, but they could not say anything. What am I? If you don't get out, then just stay here. When Li Hao saw this scene, he said sharply again. Zhou Kunlun. Li Hao shouted again to Zhou Kunlun beside him. My subordinate is here. Zhou Kunlun immediately responded. I'll count to 3. If they don't get out, then leave them all here. Li Hao said coldly. Yes. When Zhou Kunlun heard Li Hao's words, he couldn't help but was shocked again. He immediately responded, his eyes filled with cold arrogance. Naturally, he would not violate Li Hao's words in the slightest. Boom. The powerful cultivation aura was released, and Zhou Kunlun looked like he was going to take action at any time, and his eyes were full of coldness when he looked at the people. 3. 2. Li Hao did not hesitate and shouted directly. Walk. Walk. When Wu Wenhao and others saw this scene, their hearts skipped a beat. Even though they were unwilling to do so, they had no choice but to leave. Boy, let's wait and see. Today's business is not over yet. But at this moment, Qian Baishuan looked at Li Hao again and said coldly to Li Hao. Li Hao frowned slightly when he heard Qian Baishuan's words. He didn't even take action and told them to go away, but he still dared to threaten him. Qian Baishuan, right? Zhou Kunlun, destroy him for me. Li Hao suddenly said sharply to Zhou Kunlun. Hearing Li Hao's words, Zhou Kunlun was shocked and immediately responded. Yes. Boom. Immediately afterwards, the power of Zhou Kunlun's cultivation in the early stage of the Dan formation realm was instantly released, and he blasted directly at Jian Baishuan with extremely violent power. The powerful power came instantly. Jian Baishuan's expression suddenly changed and he secretly said something bad. How dare! Jian Baishuan said sternly, he was the second in command of the Jian family, and the other party actually dared to attack him directly. As a monk in the late stage of foundation building, Jian Baishuan's reaction was not unpleasant. His cultivation power was also activated instantly, and then powerful spiritual power circulated around his body, instantly generating defensive power. Boom. However, the other party was a powerful monk in the early stage of the Dan formation realm, and he was simply incomparable. When Zhou Kunlun heard Li Hao's words, he took action immediately, and his action was like thunder, with incomparable audacity, without any hesitation, and it hit Jian Baishuan in an instant. Bang! Immediately afterwards, there was an extremely dull sound, and Sun Wenwu and others were shocked to see that Jian Baishuan's defensive power was shattered by Zhou Kunlun in an instant. There was a faint sound of blood spurting, and a figure flew out heavily. Then he fell to the ground in the distance. It was Jian Baishuan who had become extremely embarrassed. However, this was not over yet. Zhou Kunlun's figure moved, and he appeared in front of Jian Baishuan like a ghost, and he was about to strike down with a palm. Don't want. Jian Baishuan looked horrified and said in a panic, trying to gather the remaining strength to resist again. But, bang! Zhou Kunlun's palm contained supreme power, so he struck it directly. Jian Baishuan's resistance was useless in front of Zhou Kunlun. Zhou Kunlun landed with a direct palm strike. The next moment, Jian Baishuan spurted out a large mouthful of blood, and his whole body went limp as if deflated. Ah! Screams kept coming from Jian Baishuan's mouth. Jian Baishuan was bleeding from all his orifices, but he no longer had any power to cultivate. Destroyed. You actually destroyed me. Zhou Kunlun. I am Jian Baishuan. You actually destroyed me. My Jian family will not let you go. Jian Baishuan kept screaming. The meridians in his body were broken, and the foundation of his cultivation was destroyed. He became a complete useless person. He hates it. He just said a cruel word casually, but he suffered this fate. Haha. The Jian family. When Li Hao heard this, he smiled coldly and disagreed. Zhou Kunlun. You actually destroy Jian Baishuan. You're so cruel. Crazy, really crazy. You are in big trouble. When Sun Wenwu and others saw this scene, they were also caught off guard, and they were even more horrified that the other party actually said it would be done away with. Kunlun was really obedient this week and really took action. Jian Baishuan, who was in the later stage of foundation building, was actually deprived of his cultivation. It was really miserable. Now, things get serious. Maybe that old guy from the Jian family will come out. If you don't get out of here, I will destroy you too. After hearing what these people said, even Zhou Kunlun couldn't help it. There was so much nonsense, and he immediately shouted coldly, with a hint of coldness in his eyes. Zhou Kunlun's words came out with unparalleled power. Deterrence. Walk. The faces of Sun Wenwu and others couldn't help but turn pale again, and they immediately did not dare to hesitate at all, and their bodies flashed away, fearing that it would be their turn to be the next person whose cultivation was abolished. What a madman! Sun Wenwu and others left in despair. Li Hao did not ask Zhou Kunlun to keep them. Zhou Kunlun didn't even look at Jian Baishuan, who had fainted on the ground, and immediately came to Li Hao's side. Master. Well. You go back first. Li Hao said directly to Zhou Kunlun and Master Sanyang again. Yes. Zhou Kunlun and Zhou Kunlun did not dare to violate Li Hao's words at all, and left immediately. As for Li Hao's safety, they were not worried at all. In the entire Dewa, there is probably no one who can threaten Li Hao. At least not on the surface, excluding those fairy mountains and holy places. After the two left, only Mr. Chu Yuntian, and Chu Xiaoqing were left here. Is this true? Mr. Chu murmured again and asked, with a hint of disbelief in his voice. Everything that happened today really shocked him. Li Hao, did you come down from the mountain? At this time, Mr. Chu couldn't help his inner impulse and asked Li Hao. On the mountain? Sort of. Li Hao couldn't help but be startled. He remembered that someone had asked him this before. Li Hao also understood what the other party meant. He felt that he came down from some fairy mountain. Li Hao didn't bother to explain and said lightly. It's true. Hearing Li Hao's words, the old man was suddenly shocked again. Only people who came down from the immortal mountain can casually take out the foundation establishment pill, and can also use a strong person like Zhou Kunlun. Presumably, this Li Hao is also a monk, right? But Mr. Chu couldn't tell Li Hao's cultivation level. Then Xiaoqing, did you also take the foundation building pill? Mr. Chu asked Chu Xiaoqing again. Huh? That. When Chu Xiaoqing heard the old man's words, she couldn't help but froze again. She glanced at Li Hao, and her pretty face turned red with embarrassment. She only saw Li Hao showing her a naughty smile. Seeing that Chu Xiaoqing felt a little guilty, she immediately said weakly. So be it. You can't say that you didn't actually take the foundation establishment pill, but you just became a foundation establishment monk with Li Hao, right? That counts? Mr. Chu frowned and ate it as soon as he ate it. How could it be regarded as such? However, the old man didn't ask any more questions. He just felt that the granddaughter in front of him was a little red and a little weird. Dad, how do you feel? At this time, Chu Yuntian next to him asked Mr. Chu again. Good. Very good. Very good. Mr. Chu shouted hello 3 times in a row. He didn't know how to describe it specifically. He didn't take action just now, but he felt that his body was filled with powerful power, and he could even use the spiritual power between heaven and earth. I finally became a monk. Yuntian, go back and absorb the spiritual power of the spiritual jade, and then take the ginseng and ganodermal lucidum to see if you can break through. Mr. Chu said to Chu Yuntian again, now that he and his granddaughter have become foundation-building monks, it would be great if his son could also become a monk. No need to bother. However, at this time, Li Hao's voice came from the side again. Mr. Chu and Chu Yuntian immediately looked at Li Hao. The next moment, the two of them saw that a round elixir appeared out of thin air in Li Hao's hand. The elixir was filled with mysterious and wonderful elixir patterns. This is also the best foundation building pill. Oh my God! When Mr. Chu saw the elixir in Li Hao's hand, his eyes widened and he showed an expression of disbelief again. He was really shocked. This Li Hao actually took out another top quality foundation building pill? Sure enough, this guy still has a foundation establishment pill. How many foundation building pills does he have? Uncle Chu, take this foundation building pill and eat it. Li Hao said with a smile. This is too expensive. Chu Yuntian looked at the foundation establishment pill in shock, but then said that although he also wanted it, this foundation establishment pill was too expensive, and the other party had just given one to the old man, and asked Xiaoqing, now that you have become a monk, how can you repay such a great favor? If we want these foundation building pills again, wouldn't it be? It's just a foundation building pill, no big deal. Break through and become a monk quickly. It's almost time for me to return to Jiangbei. Li Hao said in a deep voice again. Ah, Li Hao, are you going back to Jiangbei? Hearing Li Hao's words, Chu Xiaoqing couldn't help but her pretty face condensed slightly. Well, I have to go back to study. Li Hao said immediately again. Ah. When Li Hao said these words, Chu Xiaoqing was startled again. She really didn't know that Li Hao was still a student. Well, then can I go to Jiangbei to find you? Chu Xiaoqing asked weakly again. Certainly. Li Hao said with a smile again. So, Uncle Chu should take this foundation establishment pill as soon as possible. Those people before would probably cause trouble. If you really encounter trouble, go to the Zhou family to find Zhou Kunlun. Li Hao instructed again. With the 3 foundation building monks of the Chu family, plus 1 Sanyang and 1 Zhou Kunlun, even if the other party looks for trouble, there shouldn't be much of a problem. After arranging everything, Li Hao went directly to Jinghua Airport, preparing to return to Jiangbei. I was planning to leave 2 days ago, but I was delayed because I met Chu Xiaoqing. Chu Xiaoqing sent Li Hao to the airport. In the car, the two couldn't help but have a sweet moment. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 288. Li Hao got on his private plane and headed to Jiangbei. After a few hours, Li Hao walked out of Jiangbei Airport. At the airport, Li Hao's Mercedes-Benz did not return to Jiangbei No. 1 courtyard, but went downstairs to Zhou Company. This time, he has been out for several days. I don't know how Qin Yaking and the others are doing. After not seeing them for many days, Li Hao misses them very much. And Linda, that foreign girl, is his stand-in assistant. After coming to Dewa from abroad, he only met her once, and he doesn't know how she is doing. Li Hao drove this Mercedes-Benz directly to the downstairs of Zhou Company. At present, it is not time to get off work yet. Li Hao parked the car directly at the door of Zhou Company, and then walked in directly. As soon as Li Hao entered, the receptionist downstairs saw Li Hao and couldn't help but be shocked. Hello, sir, which unit are you from? Do you have an appointment? The receptionist did not recognize Li Hao and asked Li Hao directly. I'm from Zhou too. Go in and find Mr. Qin. Li Hao said directly. You're from Zhou too? The girl at the front desk looked at Li Hao in surprise when she heard what he said. She obviously didn't believe it. She had never seen Li Hao before. Excuse me, colleague, which department are you from? What's your name? Why don't you bring your ID card? The girl at the front desk immediately asked Li Hao again. Which department? Haha. I'm from the group. My name is Li Hao. Li Hao. Are you Li Hao, Mr. Li? The girl at the front desk suddenly widened her eyes and looked at Li Hao in disbelief. The next moment, the girl at the front desk found information about Li Hao in the group information, and even photos of Li Hao, and her heart was instantly shocked. It's really Mr. Li. She hasn't been in Zhou for long and is still in the internship period. From the mouths of her colleagues in the company, the name she heard the most is Li Hao. She couldn't help but look at the young man in front of her who looks about the same age as her with curiosity. Is he Mr. Qin's boyfriend? How is it? Is everything okay? Is Mr. Qin here? Li Hao asked the receptionist again. No problem. Mr. Qin is in the office. Hello, Mr. Li, I'll call right now. The receptionist immediately said to Li Hao again. Her expression was full of respect. She actually met a big shot today, and she was about to call the general manager's office upstairs. No need. I'll go up myself. Li Hao said directly, stopping the other party's action. Then, he went upstairs directly. Soon, Li Hao came to the outside of the general manager's office. Not far from the general manager's office, there was a separate desk, which was the office of the general manager's assistant. At this moment, a beautiful assistant was wearing a professional suit and sorting out documents. Seeing someone coming, she couldn't help but raise her head. The next moment, a look of surprise appeared in the beautiful eyes of the beautiful assistant. "Mr. Li, why are you here?" This assistant was brought here by Qin Yaking from Yazoo. She was also Qin Yaking's former assistant. She had met Li Hao several times and naturally knew Li Hao. Seeing Li Hao coming here, she couldn't help but open her mouth wide and was shocked. She knew that Mr. Qin liked Mr. Li in front of her when he was in Yazoo. In recent days, Mr. Qin has been working hard and seems unhappy. She thought that Mr. Qin and Mr. Li had a conflict. "Is Yaking in there?" Li Hao asked directly. "Yes. Mr. Qin is in there." The assistant immediately responded and stood up to open the door to report. "Shh, I'll go in by myself," Li Hao said with a smile. The next moment, Li Hao walked up without saying a word. "Dong dong dong." Li Hao knocked on the door directly. "Come in." A woman's voice came from the office. Then, Li Hao opened the door and walked in without hesitation. I saw a woman looking at the documents on the table, holding a pen as if she was signing something, and she didn't raise her head, as if she was very serious. Li Hao looked at Qin Yaking in front of him and came directly to the front of the desk. Qin Yaking raised her head and looked at the figure who came in. She thought it was her assistant, but the next moment, she saw a young man staring at her seriously. "Ah! Li Hao! Why are you here?" Qin Yaking was startled when she saw that it was Li Hao, but soon she seemed to think of something and looked indifferent. What's going on?" Qin Yaking was actually indifferent to him. How could this happen? Li Hao clearly saw that there was a hint of excitement in Qin Yaking's beautiful eyes, but the excitement disappeared in an instant and turned into the indifference in front of him. Li Hao was a little confused. Why did Qin Yaking look like this when she saw him? It shouldn't be. Li Hao couldn't help but frown. He could even tell at a glance that Qin Yaking had lost a lot of weight after not seeing her for so many days, as if she hadn't rested well. "Of course I came to see you," Li Hao said directly. "Why are you looking at me? We have nothing to do with each other." I heard Qin Yaking say something serious again, but Qin Yaking's pretty face was a little blushing for some reason, but her expression was still indifferent, and Qin Yaking's heart was filled with waves. "Shanshui Group belongs to me. This Zhu company also belongs to me. I'm here to see the employees. Are there any questions?" "Why doesn't it matter? We all met our parents, and you kissed mine," Li Hao said slowly again, shamelessly. "You? Who kissed you?" Hearing Li Hao's words, Qin Yaking's pretty face turned red with embarrassment and said directly. "That night by the river," Li Hao said slowly again. "Ah! You are going to die." When Qin Yaking heard what Li Hao said, she was immediately ashamed and angry. She even stood up and stared at Li Hao with red eyes. "This is in an office, there are so many employees outside." "Ha ha!" When Li Hao saw this scene, he laughed again. Then she looked straight at Qin Yaking. Qin Yaking did not dare to look directly into Li Hao's eyes. The next moment, Li Hao stepped forward. "What do you want to do?" Qin Yaking's expression couldn't help but change again. Li Hao blurted out. Immediately afterwards, he stretched out his hand and hugged Qin Yaking into his arms. Qin Yaking opened her pretty mouth and widened her eyes. She was a little stunned. Her delicate body couldn't help but tremble. She was held by Li Hao in a daze. Her head felt buzzing at this moment and went blank. "Li Hao, let me go, this is still an office." Only then did Qin Yaking react and struggled to get out of Li Hao's arms. But how could Li Hao let her break free? He completely ignored Qin Yaking. The office door, which had been closed, was blown open by a strange force. Don't let go. Li Hao said with a grin. Qin Yaking was hugged by Li Hao. Feeling the warmth of Li Hao's body, her body couldn't help but become weak, and even her ears turned red. Qin Yaking beat Li Hao's chest with her small fists. The next moment, Li Hao looked at Qin Yaking's beautiful red lips, couldn't help his inner impulse, and kissed her directly. Qin Yaking only felt that her whole body was extremely numb, and her head was dizzy and buzzing. She didn't know anything anymore, so she responded unconsciously. After a while, Qin Yaking had collapsed in Li Hao's arms. Oh, 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 you bullied me. I want to tell my dad. Qin Yaking actually started to cry, her eyes filled with tears. Whoa, whoa, where have you been? You're just here now. Li Hao. How could you do this? Qin Yaking kept saying that these days, she was very troubled and depressed. Li Hao didn't come to see him for so many days, and he didn't even have a phone number or WeChat message. She didn't understand what Li Hao meant, and she didn't want to take the initiative to contact him. She didn't even dare to go home. Last time, his parents called to ask when they would take Li Hao to eat at home again. But Qin Yaking still doesn't know what Li Hao means to her. Does he like himself or not? Why don't you take the initiative? Should she still take the initiative? Just thinking about it, Qin Yaking has not been eating well these days, can't sleep, and has lost a lot of weight. Qin Yaking can only immerse herself in work, hoping to forget her worries through work. But I never thought that Li Hao would come directly here today. I'm sorry. I have been away for a few days to do some things. I won't leave. If I do, I will take you with me. Li Hao said seriously, really feeling a little guilty for Qin Yaking in his heart. Especially. Alas. It's all my fault that I'm too handsome and weigh a lot. Li Hao couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Look at you, you've only lost weight in the past few days. How did you do this? Oh, it's true. Li Hao couldn't help but said to Qin Yaking. Come, take this pill. The next moment, Li Hao actually took out another pill and handed it directly to Qin Yaking. Ah! What is this? Qin Yaking couldn't help but ask when she saw the elixir in Li Hao's hand. Elixir. It can strengthen your body. It can also beautify your face and enlarge your breasts. Li Hao said directly again. This. Qin Yaking blushed again when she heard Li Hao's words. Be good, eat it. Li Hao said lightly again, feeling like a bad uncle at this moment. Qin Yaking was still listening to Li Hao's words. Although she had some doubts about Li Hao's elixir, she still chose to believe it and took it directly. The next moment, in Qin Yaking's mouth, this top-grade foundation building pill turned into an extremely pure energy and entered Qin Yaking's body. Boom! Ah! Qin Yaking's whole body suddenly shook, and she felt violent force rushing through her body, causing her to scream. When Li Hao saw this scene, he put a hand directly on Qin Yaking's back, and the power of cultivation began to circulate. A stream of cultivation spiritual power entered Qin Yaking's body, helping Qin Yaking refine and absorb this energy. In an instant, Qin Yaking's body meridians, flesh and bones were filled with this powerful medicinal power. Boom! After another moment, a powerful aura emerged from Qin Yaking's body. That is the momentum of foundation building. Qin Yaking's body has undergone earth-shaking changes. It would not be an exaggeration to call it a rebirth. Groceries were also expelled from the surface of Qin Yaking's body. Under the powerful influence of this foundation-building pill, Qin Yaking became a foundation-building monk without exception, and transformed into a metamorphosis. At this very moment, outside the office, but another surprising voice sounded. Hum. Hum. What's going on? Did you see it? A man just entered Mr. Qin's office. What man? That's Director Li. Does Director Li know? Director Li is Mr. Chen's boyfriend. The door is still closed. This is Mr. Chen's cry. What are they doing inside? What are you doing? Do you even need to ask? Dot. Damn it, Mr. Chen is really being manipulated. In the office. How does it feel? Li Hao asked Chen Yaking. Li Hao, I feel as if I am much lighter, and my body seems to be filled with strength. When Chen Yaking heard Li Hao's words, she couldn't help but be startled. She felt the condition of her body carefully, but she was extremely surprised and said immediately. Yeah. You are also a monk. Li Hao said with a smile again. Ah. What? I am also a monk. Am I just like Grandpa? Hearing Li Hao's words, Chen Yaking couldn't help being surprised again. Li Hao nodded again. Chen Yaking felt huge emotions in her heart. Did she just become a monk? Huh? Why does it smell so bad? Suddenly, Chen Yaking frowned and said again. Ah. Why is my body so dirty? The next moment, Chen Yaking's pretty face changed, and she looked at her body with wide eyes. The surface of her body was actually black, as if it was mixed with something. For a girl, how can this be accepted? They are all impurities in the body. Just take a shower. Li Hao said lightly that he had experienced this kind of situation before. But how can I get out? Chen Yaking simply felt that she was too embarrassed to see anyone. Li Hao. Without saying a word, Li Hao directly picked up Chen Yaking from the waist. The next moment, many employees of Zhu Company outside saw that the door of General Chen's office was opened. All I saw was that Mr. Chen was held in the arms of a boy and princess. Mr. Chen's head was buried in his chest and was almost invisible. This. Hiss. Some people's eyes widened and they gasped. Wow! Someone screamed. Director Li. Director Li. Director Li is awesome. Someone else shouted excitedly. Chen Yaking, who was in Li Hao's arms, felt ashamed. She was completely ashamed. This was the first time she was held in the arms of a man in front of so many people. Haha. Everyone's salary is doubled this month. Li Hao laughed and said directly. As soon as the words fell, the entire Zhu employees became even more excited and rejoiced. Oh my God, double the salary? Director Li, I love you. The boss is awesome. Director Li Niubi. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 289. With one word from Li Hao, everyone in the entire Zhu company could have their salaries doubled this month. For a time, everyone in Zhu company cheered and was filled with joy. Cheers and screams are endless. However, Li Hao held Chen Yaking with a bright smile on his face. Oh, my God boss, you are finally back. But at this moment, suddenly, a voice came from the front again. Li Hao took a closer look and saw a tall, blonde, blue-eyed, long-legged foreign beauty wearing a short skirt appearing in front of her. Linda? Are you here too? Li Hao was also surprised and said, isn't the foreign beauty in front of him his little assistant Linda? Boss, you're back. Recently, Mr. Chen has been thinking about you a lot. By the way, there is a saying in Huaguo that it seems that tea and rice are not delicious. When we see each other, it is like 3 days apart. Autumn is coming. Linda immediately said to Li Hao again. When Li Hao heard Linda's words, he couldn't help but be startled, his face darkened, and the corners of his mouth twitched slightly. You're talking about not thinking about food or tea, right? It's like not seeing each other for another day, just like 3 autumns, right? Li Hao said speechlessly. How about not seeing each other again? I also want to meet you. That's right, I just don't think about food and tea. 1 day is like 3 autumns after not seeing you. Boss, you are so literate. Linda nodded repeatedly and praised Li Hao. Li Hao. Li Hao has a dark look on his face. Is he educated? Is this how you praise someone? That's a must. Li Hao immediately said again. Qin Yaking in her arms raised her brows slightly and looked at Linda weakly. Today she was very familiar with Linda and even became good friends. At this moment, Linda saw that she was being held by Li Hao. Qin Yaking couldn't help but feel extremely ashamed, and the two of them hurriedly buried their pretty faces in Li Hao's arms, not daring to show their faces. Boss, where are you going with Mr. Qin in your arms? Linda asked Li Hao again. Hey, you can't control it. Li Hao said mischievously again, and immediately laughed. Haha, I'm leaving first. After saying that, Li Hao hugged Qin Yaking and stepped forward to leave. Ah! Boss, Yaking is mine, you can't take her away. But at this time, Linda shouted to Li Hao again. When Li Hao heard Linda's words, he ignored them at all. He didn't even turn his head and went straight downstairs with Qin Yaking in his arms. Boss, wait for me, I'm going to. I'm going to. When Linda saw this scene, she immediately chased after Li Hao. Why are you following me? Li Hao hugged Qin Yaking and walked directly into the elevator, and Linda followed directly. You are my boss. I am your assistant, so of course I have to follow you. I finally came here from me country to be your assistant, but you, boss, don't even care about me, huh? Linda immediately pouted again and said to Li Hao arrogantly, with a look of displeasure on her face. She was very dissatisfied with Li Hao for leaving her aside for so many days. Isn't this busy? There's something going on. Alas. Li Hao glared at Linda and said, unable to help but sigh. You are so busy that you should take this person with you. This person comes from the country of me specifically to serve you, boss. Linda said seriously again. When Li Hao heard Linda's words and looked at Linda like this, he didn't know how to explain it. That's all, I'll take you with me next time. Li Hao could only say weakly. That's what you said, boss. It's great. Linda suddenly became happy again when she heard Li Hao's words. Immediately, Linda looked at Qin Yaking in Li Hao's arms and couldn't help but smile at Qin Yaking. Mr. Qin, how are you? Isn't it comfortable to be held by the boss? When Qin Yaking heard Linda's words, she raised her head again. She was so shy that she felt really embarrassed. Li Hao, will you let me down? Qin Yaking said weakly to Li Hao. This is not okay. Li Hao decisively refused. The next moment, Li Hao carried Qin Yaking out of the elevator, followed by Linda, a beautiful foreign woman. When walking through the front lobby. When the girl at the front desk saw this scene, her eyes suddenly widened, and a look of shock appeared on her face. Director Li actually walked out with Mr. Qin in his arms. It's true. Director Li is actually Mr. Qin's boyfriend. Director Li is so manly, he is so handsome. Soon, Li Hao put Qin Yaking in the passenger seat of the Mercedes-Benz, and then got into the driver's seat himself. Li Hao was about to take Qin Yaking and leave directly, but Linda also got into the car directly. Where should I take a bath? Jiangbei number 1 courtyard or find a hotel? Li Hao asked Qin Yaking directly. Taking a shower? Oh, my God. Director Li, are you going to have sex? When Linda heard Li Hao's words, she couldn't help being shocked again, and said to Li Hao in surprise. I'm taking a shower and looking for a hotel. If I'm not going to have sex, what are I going to do? Linda has been in China for a while and has learned many internet buzzwords, and Papa is one of them. Li Hao was speechless again when he heard Linda's words. Linda, what are you talking nonsense about? It's not what you think. After hearing Linda's words, Qin Yaking said quickly. However, Qin Yaking's words had just fallen. But Linda continued to say. Yachting, if you and the boss have sex, count me in, okay. I want to take a shower too. Linda's voice was simply soul-stirring, and she looked at Li Hao again. Boss, I want to take a shower too. Linda said to Li Hao weakly, delicately, and even licked her tongue. Damn. Li Hao was shocked again when he heard Linda's words. This girl is so direct, she dares to say anything. She is so concerned about her body. Li Hao is not a novice, his heart is suddenly hot, and he feels dry mouth. However, as a powerful cultivator, Li Hao can still control himself in the face of temptation. Linda, you think too much, it's just a simple shower. Yaqing's body is a little dirty. Li Hao immediately explained again. Linda thought Li Hao was joking, but the next moment, Linda couldn't help but look at Qin Yaqing again. Ah! Yaqing, what's wrong with you? Why is your neck black? Ah, and why are your clothes so dirty? What's going on? Linda screamed in surprise, noticing the unnaturalness on Qin Yaqing's body and the situation on Qin Yaqing's body. It's nothing, I just took a pill to eliminate some impurities in my body. Li Hao said lightly again. Ah! Pill. Are you talking about the legendary elixir? Oh my god, Yaqing, are you going to become an immortal? Linda was shocked. Although she was a foreigner, she had heard of some strange legends in China a long time ago, and she knew that China had elixirs. Or, let's go directly to the hotel? Shangri-La 11 Hotel also has the boss's presidential suite. Linda suggested. Well, that's fine. Li Hao also responded, and Qin Yaqing did not refuse. So, the three of them went directly to the Shangri-La Hotel. Li Hao and the other two got out of the car directly, but Li Hao picked up Qin Yaqing again, regardless of Qin Yaqing's resistance. The staff of the Shangri-La Hotel had already known Li Hao, and when they saw him, their expressions suddenly changed. Hello, Mr. Li. Mr. Li. One after another, they shouted respectfully to Li Hao. Yes. Li Hao nodded lightly, and then said directly. It's still the presidential suite. Yes. Please follow me, Mr. Li. Immediately, the customer service beauty said directly to Li Hao, and then took Li Hao to the presidential suite with ease. Until Li Hao left. Another shocking voice was heard. Oh my god, Mr. Li actually brought two goddesses to get a room. Mr. Li is worthy of being Mr. Li. The one Mr. Li is holding seems to be Qin Yaqing, the boss of Zhu Company. Some employees at the door of Shangri-La Creek Hotel were also greatly shocked by this scene. Bringing two such beautiful goddesses to the hotel is really awesome. But when they thought that this was President Li of their Yuhao group, they immediately felt that it was natural. Only extraordinary people can do extraordinary things. Li Hao, Qin Yaqing, and Linda walked directly into the presidential suite. Beauty, can you help buy a few sets of clothes for her? Li Hao immediately said to the customer service beauty. Qin Yaqing wanted to take a shower, and the clothes she was wearing were already dirty, so she must change clothes, and there were no Qin Yaqing clothes here, so Li Hao wanted the customer service girl to go outside to help buy a few sets. Ah! Mr. Li, of course. Is this what this sister is wearing? I'll go right away. The hotel's beautiful customer service heard Li Hao's words and said excitedly that Mr. Li asked her to help buy clothes. It was a great honor to be able to work for Mr. Li. After that, the beautiful woman was about to leave to help Qin Yaqing buy clothes. Wait. However, Li Hao stopped her directly. Mr. Li, do you have any other instructions? I'll do it right away. The beautiful woman paused and asked Li Hao again. Do you have money? Li Hao was speechless. He ran away without asking for money. The other party was also stunned when she heard Li Hao's words, and a blush appeared on her pretty face in an instant. Add WeChat, I'll transfer some money to you. Li Hao said again. Okay. When the woman heard this, she couldn't help but get excited. Mr. Li actually wanted to add her WeChat. This was a great thing. So she quickly took out her mobile phone. Then, they scanned the QR code of WeChat on Li Hao's phone and added each other as friends. Mr. Li, my name is Lu Yu. Yes. Li Hao nodded, added a note, and then directly transferred 200,000 yuan to the other party. Ding dong. Lu Yu was shocked again when she saw the transfer information on WeChat. 200,000 yuan? This is simply too generous. Just to buy some clothes before the transfer, he actually transferred 200,000 yuan. He is worthy of being the president of their Yuhao group. Mr. Li, I'll go then. Lu Yu immediately said to Li Hao again. Yes. Li Hao nodded. Lu Yu took the money and went directly downstairs. She told the manager on duty that Mr. Li asked her to help her buy clothes, and then the manager on duty let her out without hesitation. Working for Mr. Li is the most important thing. Soon. In the presidential suite, there was the sound of rushing water in the bathroom. Qin Yaking immediately started to take a shower. Her whole body was covered with impurities discharged from her body, and she felt bloated and very uncomfortable. However, Qin Yaking didn't go in for 2 minutes when Linda took off her dress directly in front of Li Hao. Wearing only underwear and a bra. It was clearly intentional. Well. When Li Hao saw this scene, he couldn't help but was startled again and his eyes widened. I have to say, this Linda has a really good figure. She is big in the places where she should be, and she is perky in the places where she should be, and her skin is so fair. Simply, a stunner. Li Hao felt his blood surge and his mouth was dry. Linda, what are you doing? Hey, this is unacceptable. Li Hao quickly said to Linda. Hey, Mr. Li, what are you thinking about? It sounds like the weather is hot, and I need to take a shower, so I just took a shower with Yaking. You go outside. Linda heard Li Hao's words and saw Li Hao's eyes, and said with another evil smile. Well. Li Hao couldn't help but was startled again. It turned out that he was overthinking. Okay. When you finish washing, I'll wash it too. Li Hao said weakly again. He was holding Qin Yaking all the way just now, and his body was quite dirty. Ever since, Li Hao consciously went out and went to the living room of the presidential suite. Boom, boom, boom. Linda knocked on the bathroom door. Huh? Who is it? Qin Yaking's cautious voice suddenly came from inside. Yaking, it's me. Linda said immediately. What are you doing? When Qin Yaking heard that it was Linda, she was relieved and asked doubtfully. It turned out to be Linda. She thought it was Li Hao. To his surprise, she took off all her clothes. Yaking, open the door. Linda said directly again. Ah. What are you doing? Open the door. Yaking, I want to come in. Qin Yaking wrapped herself in a bath towel and cautiously opened the door. What are you doing? I took off all my clothes. Huh? Linda, what are you doing? When she saw Linda wearing a bra, Qin Yaking couldn't help but was shocked again. Hey, let's take a shower together. Linda also got in without saying a word. Ever since, the two of them started washing together. More than half an hour later, Qin Yaking and Linda just walked out in bathrobes, their hair still wet. When Li Hao saw this scene, he couldn't help but look condensed. When a beauty comes out of the bath, there is a unique scenery. Boss, you can go in and wash yourself. Do you want someone to help you? Linda said to Li Hao immediately. Forget it. There's no need for this. Li Hao said against his will. He wanted Linda to help, but Qin Yaking was there and he didn't dare. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. God level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tien Tien Taido. Chapter 290. Li Hao went in to take a shower. After a while, the doorbell at the door of the presidential suite rang again. I'll go open the door. Linda immediately volunteered, and then went to the door in her bathrobe, carefully looking outside through the peephole. If it was a boy, Linda would not open the door, but when she saw two girls outside the door, Linda opened the door directly. Wow, you bought so many clothes. Opening the door, there were two women in hotel uniforms standing outside, one of whom was the customer service lady of the previous hotel, named Lu Yu. In addition to Lu Yu, there was another woman wearing the same hotel uniform. However, at this moment, the two of them were all covered with clothing bags, and each clothing bag was full of clothes. There were more than 10 clothing bags on the two of them. Hee, it's all the money given by Director Li, and it hasn't been used up yet. Lu Yu looked at the foreign beauty in front of her, wrapped in a bathrobe, with skin as white as a cow, and her hair was still wet. It was obvious that she had just taken a bath, which made Lu Yu's heart tremble again. It's so fast. Is it over? Or hasn't it started yet? She's so damn beautiful. Especially this figure, which is convex and curvy. She is simply a stunner. Even the bathrobe covers the plumpness of her chest. Lu Yu, who is very confident in her appearance and figure, feels a little inferior. In addition to this foreign beauty, there is another one inside. Director Li is worthy of being Director Li. Two such stunning women, actually willingly. At this moment, Lu Yu thought a lot. Haha, haven't you used up all the money yet? Just keep the rest. The boss is not short of money. Linda said with a smile, and then took the bags of clothes from Lu Yu's hand, but because there were too many, she couldn't lift them, so Lu Yu immediately carried the clothes in. I just bought some new styles, I don't know if you like them or not. Lu Yu said weakly again. I like them, they look good. Yaking, come and try them. Linda said with a smile. Yeah. Qin Yaking nodded and walked over immediately. Try them here directly. Qin Yaking picked up a piece of clothing and hesitated. Yeah. It's okay. The boss is still taking a shower. Linda said again immediately. So, Qin Yaking started to try them directly, and Lu Yu and the others went out again. But it was less than 2 minutes. Ka. The bathroom door opened again, and Li Hao, who was wearing shorts and bare upper body, had finished his shower and walked out. This scene was totally unexpected for Qin Yaking and Linda. Moreover, Qin Yaking was changing clothes and had just taken off her clothes, leaving only her underwear and bra. Ah! In an instant, a scream resounded throughout the presidential suite. Qin Yaking quickly picked up the clothes on the sofa and covered her body again. Boss, why are you so fast? Linda also widened her eyes and said to Li Hao. Li Hao was stunned again when he saw the scene in front of him. He was lucky to see such a beautiful scene when he came out. But when he heard Linda's words, his face was black and speechless. How can a man be said to be fast? No, I'm very durable. Li Hao said with a grin again. Hee. Boss, I'm talking about taking a bath. Linda laughed immediately. Go in quickly. But at this time, Qin Yaking said to Li Hao again, her pretty face was already blushing. Li Hao. Those who don't know would think. Li Hao stood there unmoved, his eyes still staring at Qin Yaking. You're still looking. Go in quickly. Seeing Li Hao's look, Qin Yaking said angrily, even a little anxious. Okay, I'll go in. Oh, really, it's not like I haven't seen it before. When Li Hao heard Qin Yaqing's words, Li Hao sighed again and said speechlessly. The next moment, Li Hao turned around and walked into the room. But when Li Hao's words fell into Qin Yaqing's ears, Qin Yaqing's pretty face blushed again, and even her neck turned red. A few minutes later. Okay. Boss, you can come out. Linda shouted to Li Hao. Li Hao came out again, only to see that Qin Yaqing had already put on her clothes and changed into a set of newly bought clothes, and her whole temperament was amazing. Wow! Boss, you have a great body. Linda couldn't help but exclaim when she saw Li Hao with his upper body bare. The next moment, Linda came to Li Hao's side, stretched out her hand, and pinched Li Hao's biceps, but it didn't move much. Boss, your muscles are so strong. They are hard. Do you exercise regularly? Linda said to Li Hao with surprise in her eyes. Li Hao wanted to say, in fact, I have a harder place. But thinking of Qin Yaqing next to him, he immediately said in a deep voice. Well, I didn't exercise, just some sports. Qin Yaqing also looked at Li Hao, and the expression on her pretty face had returned to normal. Li Hao was right. She had almost no secrets in front of Li Hao, so Qin Yaqing thought it through. Isn't it just a look at her body? Being looked at by someone she likes is nothing. Qin Yaqing saw Li Hao looking at him again, and quickly turned his eyes away, walked to the side, took out a hair dryer, plugged it in and started to blow her hair. The hair of the two women was still wet, and Li Hao had just come out of the bathroom, and his hair was also wet. Yaqing, let me help you blow it. It's not convenient for you to blow it yourself. You can help me blow it later. Seeing this scene, Linda immediately said again, and came directly to Qin Yaqing's side. Yeah. Qin Yaqing responded and handed the hair dryer to Linda. Then, Linda started to blow Qin Yaqing's hair again. After a few minutes, Qin Yaqing's hair was dried, and then Qin Yaqing blew Linda's hair. Li Hao sat down on the sofa again and watched this scene. After a while, Qin Yaqing and Linda's hair were both blown dry. Boss, your hair is still wet. Blow it too. At this time, Linda said to Li Hao again, she saw that Li Hao's hair was still wet. No, it will be dry in a while. Li Hao said directly, wanting to refuse. Boss, blow it? I'll blow it for you. Linda said very enthusiastically, without saying anything, she had already pulled the hair dryer over. Okay. Li Hao was speechless and didn't say anything more. Linda was so enthusiastic and proactive that it was hard to refuse. What are you going to eat later? After taking a shower and drying his hair, Li Hao said to the two women again. It was getting dark, and it was almost evening, and it was almost time for dinner. Boss, there seemed to be a lot of delicious food at the Jiangbei night market. I want to go to the night market and you will treat me. Hearing Li Hao's words, Linda immediately said very directly, not polite at all. Li Hao was speechless. Did I ask you? I asked Yaqing. Yaqing, what do you think? Li Hao looked at Qin Yaqing again. I'm fine. Otherwise, let's go to the night market. Qin Yaqing said weakly again. Then let's go to the night market. Since Qin Yaqing said so it was decided happily. The three of them went out of the hotel directly again, and drove directly to the night market in Jiangbei. When the three of them arrived at the night market, they saw that there was an endless stream of people shuttling in front of these snack stalls, which was very lively. As a famous specialty snack street in Jiangbei, there is no shortage of foodies here. Li Hao parked the car casually on the side of the road, and then he and Qin Yaqing and Linda came to a barbecue stall, Brother Peng's barbecue stall. Because the owner of this barbecue stall is a fat man. Two beauties, grilling barbecue. Pick up whatever you want. Brother Peng, the owner of this barbecue stall, was grilling barbecue. Seeing the two beauties walk to the front of his stall, he immediately greeted them. "Hey, brother. It's you." But at this time, when Brother Pang accidentally saw the boy standing next to the two beauties, he suddenly widened his eyes and made a surprised sound, recognizing Li Hao. "Ha ha. Isn't it me? Brother Pang, how are you doing recently? Is your son's study okay?" Li Hao also laughed when he heard the voice of the owner of the barbecue stall and asked directly. "I remember that last time when I ate barbecue here, Brother Pang cried bitterly because his son scored 30 points in the exam. He was so sad that he even didn't want to do the barbecue business for a while. But he met Li Hao. Li Hao found the system prompt on the fat man's head and knew the fundamental reason why the fat man's son did so badly in the exam. After telling the fat man, he grilled barbecue here all night, and the business was even booming. At this moment, the fat man was extremely grateful to Li Hao. "My son's grades have improved and he has entered the top 100. Thanks to you, brother. If it weren't for you, the misunderstanding between my son and I would never be resolved," the fat man said to Li Hao with great excitement. If it weren't for Li Hao, he didn't know that the reason why his son's grades dropped so badly in the exam was because of him. "Brother, come and have barbecue. Today, you and your girlfriend can eat whatever you want and grill whatever you want. It's free. It's my treat," the fat man said to Li Hao again. "Ah, free barbecue. That's great. Boss, what's going on?" Linda, who was standing next to him, heard the call from the owner of the barbecue stall and asked Li Hao with a puzzled look on her face. "Hey, last time, Li Hao helped this boss. This is what happened." At this time, Qin Yaking hurriedly told Linda what happened last time they came to eat barbecue. "Oh my god, there is such a thing. The boss can actually grill barbecue. Is it very delicious? Really?" When Linda heard Qin Yaking say that Li Hao's barbecue was even better than the barbecue owner's, she was excited again. "Really? I went back at that time. But that night, my WeChat and Alipay receipt notifications never stopped, and that night was also the best night for my sales ever." Without waiting for Li Hao to answer, the fat brother said again. Then, the fat brother said directly to Li Hao. "Brother, why don't you grill it yourself? I'll learn your skills by the way." He he. The fat brother was not there at the time, but he knew what happened later. It turned out that after he went back, he accidentally left the barbecue stall to the young man to grill it himself, but he never thought that the barbecue grilled by this young man was really delicious, which once made the barbecue stall extremely popular. At that time, it was even filmed on vibrato. Li Hao was stunned. "Li Hao, you grill it? I also want to eat your grilled food," Qin Yaking also said on the side. "Okay then. I'll do it. But, let me say first, I'll only grill for a while." When Li Hao heard Qin Yaking say this, he nodded immediately and walked directly to the side of the fat brother in the grill. The fat brother gave up his position very sensibly. "What's going on? Fat brother, are you going to let him grill? Who is this guy? Are we going to grill for him too? Is the grill delicious?" At this moment, many people were already sitting on the small tables and benches behind the barbecue stall. Seeing that Li Hao was going to grill for fat brother, they were immediately surprised and suspicious. These people had never seen Li Hao and did not know Li Hao. "Wow! It's him! It's him, it's him! Last time, it was him who grilled here. The grill he grilled was delicious. Oh my god, he's grilling again. Hurry up and search the Douyin video of Fat Brother's barbecue stall last time. It was him." However, there are still people who are regular customers of Fat Brother's barbecue. They happened to eat here last time, or they have seen the Douyin video of Li Hao grilling at that time, and they immediately exclaimed again. "Is it true? Let me search it. Someone picked up the phone unsurely, opened Tremolo, and searched for the video of the last time Fatty Brother barbecued. That video was very popular at that time. It's really him. Oh my god, this is true. When seeing the protagonist of the video appear here again, many people couldn't help but exclaim. Someone even raised their phone and aimed the camera at Li Hao. This scene made many other people around startled and stopped. Choose what you want to eat, I'll grill it. Li Hao immediately said to Qin Yaking and the other two girls. Yeah. The two nodded, and immediately started to pick up the skewers and handed them to Li Hao. Li Hao started to grill directly. The god-level cooking skills were directly put into use, and the grilling was smooth and flowing. Li Hao's movements were very skillful and sharp. After a while, a fragrance spread again. God-level tip, report the walking 500,000 at the beginning. Author, Tian Taido. Chapter 291. Soon, a scent filled the air. Wow, it smells so good. It smells so good. How come it smells so good? I can't bear it anymore. Li Hao grilled vigorously and very skillfully. Soon, the skewers on the grill were grilled until they were so fragrant that they spread to the noses of the people around him, causing many people to exclaim. The few people couldn't help but swallow their saliva. Boss, is it done yet? I can't help but drool. Next to her, Linda's voice came again. Linda's mouth was filled with saliva, and her saliva kept coming out. Her beautiful eyes were staring straight at the kebabs in Li Hao's hand, and she couldn't help it anymore. Don't worry, give it another 2 minutes. If it's not cooked yet, be careful and you'll have diarrhea. Li Hao glared at Linda directly and said with a smile. Li Hao, hurry up. I want to eat too. At this time, Qin Yaking also said to Li Hao that she hadn't eaten the skewers grilled by Li Hao for a long time. Qin Yaking couldn't help it. She still remembered the taste of Li Hao's grilled skewers last time, which made her remember it deeply and miss her so much. Right away, minute by minute. Li Hao said quickly, then smoothly smeared oil on the grilled skewers again, and then sprinkled the ingredients. Brother, are we okay? Next to him, there were other people asking Li Hao. Okay, okay. Li Hao said immediately. Finally some of the baking was done. The fat guy started cooking directly next to Li Hao and served the grilled skewers to the guests. The skewers picked up by Qin Yaking and Linda were also grilled and served. It's finally fine. I can't help it anymore, let's eat. Linda took a bunch of chicken wings and stuffed them into her mouth, then took a bite. Ah! Hot, hot. Ha ha. Immediately afterwards, another scream came from Linda's mouth, and her mouth was burned by the freshly grilled skewers. It's delicious. It's so delicious. This is my first time to eat such delicious skewers. Boss, you are awesome. Your skewers are so delicious. Even though her mouth was burned, Linda did not stop the movements in her mouth. She kept biting the meat on the chicken wings, and immediately made a sound of great admiration for Li Hao. Of course, it doesn't matter who it is. When Li Hao heard Linda's words, he grinned again and said directly. We have something more delicious. Li Hao, how on earth did you bake it? Why is it so delicious? Next to her, Qin Yaking also ate 2 skewers of meat and couldn't help but say to Li Hao. Linda said to Li Hao again while eating. Li Hao. I want more, please bake more. Haha, no problem. I'll let you eat to your heart's content tonight. Li Hao suddenly laughed again when he heard Linda's words. Brother, it's so delicious. The skewers you grilled are even more delicious than Fat Brother's. It's absolutely amazing. I've eaten so much barbecue, but I've never had anything so delicious. How do you bake it? At this time, the people next to them also ate the skewers grilled by Li Hao and made a sound of exclamation. Everyone, without exception, felt that the skewers they were eating at this moment were the most delicious ones they had ever eaten. Some people even stood up again. "Help me bake more. Thank you. I want it too, I want it too. Brother, your skills are really amazing." Many people ate one skewer and thought about the second. They quickly finished the skewers they had just selected, and even took a lot more and handed them to the side of the grill. More and more people came over. "It smells so good. I'll have some too. It's the brother on Zanayan who is roasting it. I want to try it too, I want to try it too. I came first, I came first. Get in line, get in line. I gave you all the money." In a short time, the entire Fat Brother barbecue stall was crowded with many people, all attracted by the place. Many people directly selected the skewers and handed them to the grill. Hiss. Seeing this scene, the Fat Brother also took a breath. Hot. It's really hot. I only heard the message on his mobile phone that the micro account had arrived. Hey, don't be crowded, everyone, don't be crowded. Come one by one. The scene was crowded with people. Even so, Li Hao couldn't bear the heat, and there was sweat on Li Hao's forehead. "Damn it, I feel more tired than practicing," Li Hao murmured. The Fat Brother next to him also became busy. He was already too busy. Soon, the Fat Brother directly picked up the phone and made a call. "Hey, wife, come and help me. Business is so good tonight. I can't win anymore." The Fat Brother directly called his wife on the other end of the phone for help. "Husband, wait for me, I'll come right away. My son will come too." On the other end of the phone, the voice of Fat Brother's wife came again. Li Hao roasted it for half an hour, and Qin Yaking and Linda had almost eaten it. "Boss, I'm full. I feel so full. I really can't eat any more, but these skewers you grilled are really delicious." At this time, Linda said to Li Hao again and gently rubbed her flat belly. "And there are more and more people at this barbecue stall. Husband, I'm here." But at this moment, a middle-aged woman walked in, looking like she was in her 30s or 40s. Next to the woman, there was a boy in his teens, who was also white and fat, and looked like a boy. This fat guy has a bit of a portrait. He is obviously his wife and son. Wife. Seeing this middle-aged woman, the Fat Brother suddenly smiled with relief, and then looked at his son. "What are you doing here, kid? Why don't you study hard?" The Fat Brother said directly to the young man. "Dad, you worked hard. I'm here to help you. Don't worry, I've finished my homework and tomorrow is the weekend again." The young man immediately said to the Fat Brother, "Very sensible. Come on, son, call uncle." Fat Brother directly pulled his son to Li Hao's side and said. Li Hao looked at the little fat man and nodded. "Uncle." "Hey, Dad, why is uncle baking?" When the young man saw Li Hao grilling a barbecue, he suddenly asked in surprise. "Because this uncle's barbecue is more delicious than my father's," Fat Brother said directly. "Ah, it's even more delicious than what you bake, Dad. How is that possible?" The little fat man didn't believe it when he heard the Fat Brother's words. "You'll know after you try it." The Fat Brother directly picked up a bunch and handed it to his son. After the little fat man took a bite, he was shocked. "It's delicious. It's really delicious. Uncle is so awesome," the little fat man said in amazement. "That's almost it? How about you baking it instead?" When Li Hao saw that the Fat Brother's wife and son had come to help, he immediately said to the Fat Brother, "Abdicate and give way to others." "Ah, brother, you don't want to bake anymore." When Fat Brother heard this, he couldn't help but be startled. "This is your barbecue stall," Li Hao said speechlessly. "Brother, keep baking. You will make it taste better." "Brother, don't. We all want to eat your grilled skewers. Yes. Yes. Your skewers are the best. My girlfriend also likes them. Dot. When the foodies nearby saw that Li Hao was not going to bake anymore, they immediately spoke out and wanted Li Hao to continue baking. Li Hao had a dark look on his face. He had been roasting it for a long time and hadn't even taken a bite. That, I can't bear it anymore. Another day, another day. Fat Brother's roast is also delicious. It's almost the same as me. Li Hao suddenly said weakly. It's far from that. Brother, stop it. We want to eat your skewers. My wife wants to eat yours too. Dot. The people next to him kept talking. In the end, Li Hao let Fat Brother roast it, since he didn't make a living doing it. Li Hao sat down next to Linda and Qin Yaking again, then picked up the skewers and started eating. The two women really couldn't eat anymore. Li Hao nodded again while eating. He was satisfied with the barbecue he made. It was quite delicious. Oh, I won't bake it anymore. What a pity. Such good craftsmanship. Those around who wanted to eat the barbecue cooked by Li Hao could only sigh endlessly, but when their eyes fell on Qin Yaking and Linda, their eyes widened again. What a beautiful woman. We are actually together with this guy. Gradually, some people left and stopped baking when they saw Li Hao. These people immediately gave up, but some people still stayed and let Fat Brother bake. In general, there were still a lot of people, even better than before. Be good. Li Hao was eating the skewers he grilled, and the two women next to him were watching Li Hao eat. Suddenly, at this moment. Have you seen my daughter? She is wearing a white dress. Has anyone seen my daughter? My daughter is missing. Have you seen my daughter? This is a photo of my daughter. A woman's voice came from the crowd. The woman was wearing a pair of high heels. The woman was tall, wearing a skirt, and carrying a bag in her hand. She looked like she was in her 30s, with a delicate appearance, delicate makeup, and it has the unique charm of a mature woman. But at this moment, the woman's face was full of panic, and she was constantly asking the people around her, her voice extremely anxious. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Is your daughter missing? Suddenly, someone responded. Well, my daughter is missing. Did anyone see it? She was over there just now. The woman said extremely anxiously, panicked, and even had tears in her eyes. How long have you been missing? Someone asked again. It's been about 10 minutes. She was there just now? I went in to use the toilet and when I came out she was gone. Guoer, where are you? Guoer, don't scare mom. Fruit. The woman said again, her mood was also fluctuating abnormally at this moment, and she kept shouting. Beauty, call the police immediately. Yes. Call the police quickly. Oh, let me call the police for you. Can everyone help me look for it? Do you have any photos or anything? Let me help you post them on Moments. Immediately, the people around reminded the woman again, and some even took the initiative to call the police for the woman, help search for her, or ask for photos, preparing to mobilize the power of the circle of friends, especially the boys around her. Facts have proved that there are still mostly good-hearted people. Or maybe it's because the woman in front of me is beautiful and she looks like a charming young mother. This scene naturally fell into the eyes of Li Hao and the others. Her daughter was lost. Qin Yaking said weakly. It seems so. Li Hao nodded and said in a deep voice. You can actually lose your daughter. How careless. Linda also said next to her. When Li Hao heard this, he couldn't help but his face froze. The power of cultivation started to work faintly, and a powerful invisible power of perception was immediately released to explore the surroundings. In an instant, everything that happened in the night market was clearly perceived by Li Hao. Li Hao started searching directly in this way. However, Li Hao did not detect any trace of this woman's lost daughter in this night market. In an instant, Li Hao directly increased the range. The area of several miles around was within Li Hao's perception. After a moment, Li Hao's brows wrinkled slightly. Not really. There is none within a few miles. How is this possible? Li Hao's expression suddenly became serious. Li Hao's cultivation was limited and his range of perception was also limited, but he could not find the whereabouts of this little girl. According to what the woman in front of me said, the little girl had been missing for more than 10 minutes. If she drove a car, she could drive a long way in more than 10 minutes. If you think about it this way, it shouldn't be that the little daughter got lost accidentally, but someone did it deliberately. Thinking of this, Li Hao's expression darkened again. Time passed slowly, and soon another 2 or 3 minutes passed, and a siren suddenly sounded. There happened to be a mounted policeman on patrol at this night market who came over. Who called the police? What happened? Hello, officer, I called the police. Her daughter is missing. Someone immediately stood up and said. Officer, please, my daughter is missing. My daughter is missing. I've looked everywhere but can't find her. Please. Seeing the police arriving, the woman's emotions became even more aroused. It's all my fault. Where did you go to the toilet? I shouldn't have left her outside the toilet. Guoer, don't scare mom. The woman said in a broken voice again, her tears already flowing down uncontrollably. As time passed, she became more and more panicked, her eyes filled with strong self-blame and a touch of despair. Madam, don't get excited. Let's talk about the specific situation first. The policeman immediately said again. Just now, he disappeared outside the toilet. What's the specific situation? Please help me find it. I'm begging you. The woman's mood suddenly fluctuated uncontrollably.